So hello everybody, I hope this is gonna work. And I hope this picks up the audio pretty well. This is a trial here. I'm WF7I Homebrew. My name is Bert. I'm in Virginia. And I figured it might be easiest just to go live here as I do the Ham Radio Net this evening. So this is my setup back here. I don't know if a little bit more light's gonna help. I don't know if that really did a whole lot. I don't have professional lighting or anything, and this is just all kind of setting up as I go here. Let's see. I don't know if I can get this a whole lot better adjusted. So we're going to give this a shot. I'm sure there'll be some feedback as far as whether you can hear me or not. I wasn't necessarily going to do a live show or live feed, but somebody had suggested they'd like to see this. They'd like to see a video, and I thought, why not just do a live feed? That might be the best way to go. So I've got about 10 minutes before the actual start of the net. It's going to start at 0000 UTC. And I'm going to get onto Facebook here and make some announcements to the group. And as that's going on, I'm going to start monitoring the 80-meter band and see if we can find a clear frequency to do this net. So there's going to be some dead time as I am adjusting things here, and we will get started with the net and start calling people for the net in about 10 minutes. So sit back and relax, enjoy the video, or fast forward to more excitement in 10 minutes if you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and make some notes here on Facebook. I guess before we get started, for those of you who are watching the replay, this is from last week's net. I got a nice card there from K9BRS. So K9BRS, John in Indiana. So he was on the last week's net along with KJ4CMY. And so he sent me a card, so thank you, John, for that. I'm going to send you a card back, I hope. I got to find some cards here. And for tonight, I'm drinking a tea, just in keeping with the official SWL channel. Got a beverage here, so I'm drinking a little iced tea, not iced tea, a hot tea. This is something from a company called David's Teas, and they make a lot of decaf teas, so I drink this late at night. I don't want to stay up too late. And it's really good. It's a little Christmas thing. So I'm going to go ahead and check out Facebook page, make a little announcement here. So you can sort of see the back of my head. And let me go ahead and do that. Let people know about the live chat. So let's see here. Let's see if I can post onto the group. So I've just given a link to the channel so people can join in the live stream. Okay, so I think I put a post on there. Hope this is still going. It says it is. It says about 6 minutes in, so that's good. So I just put a post on there. So what I'm going to do now is grab my tea and get over here by the microphone. And this is my Kenwood TS2000 here. You can kind of see where my hand is here. That's what I'm going to be using tonight. I have a little desk microphone. It's just one of the Kenwood mics. I don't normally do a lot of sideband, to be honest. I don't have real fancy boom mic. I don't do a lot of sideband in general, but this has been a pretty good mic. It's the MC60. So I'm going to just go ahead and tune around and see if there's a clear frequency here. And we were going to start on 3817-ish. That's pretty clear. I'm going to try. This looks like there's somebody whistling on 3818. I'll put the carrier out there maybe. I'm going to do the same here, just really briefly to see if my tuner's still working. I'm not going to key down for a long period of time. I tuned up a little earlier. Yeah, I'm good. So I know that I'm doing good on my VSWR. So the antenna that I'm running is a loop antenna, so it's cut for about 160 meters. So what it is roughly kind of a square-shaped wire antenna in a loop, and each side is about 120 feet long. It varies a little bit. It's not a perfect square. And then there's some 300 ohm feed line that attaches to the loop, and it comes down the mast, support mast, about 30 feet high to an MFJ antenna tuner. And then I run coax from there into the shack. Originally I was just running 300 ohm, balance line all the way into the shack, but I was getting a lot of noise pickup from the 300 ohm line from inside the house, and I was having some trouble with that. So I opted to just put the tuner out there and tune it, so therefore there's no loss in the coax, and the coax run into the shack, and that's working really well for me. I also got that loop up to about 30 feet, and it was previously down around 15 feet. 30 feet really made a big difference in signal levels. I'm getting out a lot better. So without too much further ado, I'm gonna look to start making some calls here and see if anyone can hear me. We got about 3 minutes left, and I'm going to be looking specifically especially for KJ4CMY and K9BRS. We'll see if they're on there. Alright, it looks like there's quite a few signals right around the 317. So 80 meters, if you're not familiar with these bands, it's a pretty popular band, especially at night, and it's very, very hard to find an open frequency. And generally, you don't want to be on an even number frequency like 20, 25, 30, because there's usually established nets and people meeting there. Got some QRM on the band too. There's a lot of Christmas light QRM right now I'm getting. QRZ is this frequency in use. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India. QRZ is a frequency in use. Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India. QRZ for the official SWL channel net, calling on 3810. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, calling for either KJ4CMY, K9BRS, or any other hams from the official SWL channel. This is Whiskey Fox 7 India calling. QRZ for the official SWL channel net. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I, calling for the official SWL channel net, meeting at 0000 UTC. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I, calling for the official SWL channel net on 3810 this evening. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I, calling and listening. Hello CQ, calling CQ for the official SWL channel net this evening. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I, calling. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, calling for the official SWL channel net meeting this evening. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I in Virginia, calling and standing by. CQ, calling CQ for the official SWL channel net, calling CQ for the official SWL channel net. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I, calling CQ for the official SWL channel net, calling CQ for the official SWL channel net. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I, calling CQ for the official SWL channel net. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India, WF7I in the state of Virginia, calling CQ and standing by. QRZ from Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India. Kilo Japan 4, was it Whiskey Mike?
Whiskey Mike,
oh, thank you and good evening. KJ4 Whiskey Mike Ocean. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India in Virginia. And good evening to you. I'm just, we're trying to do a little meetup here from this official SWL channel group that's on YouTube. The name here is Bert, Bravo Echo Romeo Tango, and I'm near Natural Bridge, Virginia. And you're giving me probably about an S7 here. I'll give you a signal report next time. KJ4WMO, WF7I.
Roger that. Being in Virginia, I mean, you sound pretty clear down here in South Carolina. I got about a S9 on you there. Sound pretty good. Sound like a band in and out a little bit, but sounds pretty clear.
Oh, very good. So what is the name there?
The name here will be Mike.
Okay, very good, Mike. And were you part of the SWL net by any chance, or were you just answering my call? And that's okay either way. I was just curious if you were from the YouTube channel as well.
I was just answering your call there. Just happy to hear you call, and it's been sitting here on this frequency for a while. I was monitoring some people today on here, and now it'll be the first thing, be the first time I've actually checked into that net. If you don't mind, just check me in, check me out, and I'll just return your call like that.
Oh yeah, there's no trouble at all. We're kind of a fledgling net here. We met last week for the first time. So what it is there's a YouTube channel that's dedicated towards shortwave listening, and there's also a lot of hams that are involved in it. And so we all just kind of talk about radio, shortwave radios, ham radios, antennas, just any number of topics. And there's a live stream that goes on every Saturday night and also every Wednesday night on YouTube. And it's headed up by Victor Alpha 2, Zulu India, I believe I got his call right, ham up in Canada and Montreal. And so we just thought it would be fun for some of the ham members to start a net. So we're just kind of experimenting with different frequencies, different times. Right now I haven't heard anyone yet. We were originally going to meet on 3817, but there's some QSOs up there, so I kind of came down here. So that's pretty much about it. Back to you there, Mike. KJ4WMO, WF7I.
KJ4WMO. That's pretty good. I mean, you're making a fine trip back here. It sounds good down here on this end. Like I said, I got a little bit of noise up and down, and I can hear somebody kind of coming in from the side there. Sound like it might be a little frequency, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I'll have to check out the YouTube music channel there and put it up and look at it and check it out.
Yeah, very good. Well, so it's the official SWL channel is what it's called. And if you just go on YouTube, just do a search for official SWL channel. The owner of that channel is a ham. His name is Gilles. He's actually a Canadian, French Canadian. You'll find a lot of different videos on there. It's just a fun, sort of easygoing group. Nothing real serious there. But hopefully we'll get something going here as far as the net. I'm not sure, there's a lot of people, there's a Facebook group that's associated with it, and there's a lot of people saying that they wanted to try this out, so here we are. But as you know, there's a lot of storms coming through. I know a couple guys had to shut things down because they had some lightning and wind and things, so there's always things that happen, and it's not a super huge group, so we'll see if anyone else checks in tonight. But I appreciate you calling me back. It's nice to know that I'm at least not talking to myself. That's always good. And we'll say 7 threes, I guess, for now. And I'll make a few calls here and see if we can get anyone else to join us. KJ4WMO, WF7I.
Roger, you have a good one, man. We'll talk at you a little bit later. But yeah, when you get out there, ain't no doubt. And we'll let you get back in there.
Okay, very good, Mike. Well, thank you for that. And 73s, and have a good evening. So we'll go do a few more calls here and see if there's anyone else who'd like to join the official SWL Channel Net sort of second edition here. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India in Virginia, looking for any calls for the official SWL Channel Net. Okay, K9 BRS, that's John Brace. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. I got your QSL card in the mail, and I'm recording a live stream on YouTube. I kind of held it up to the camera there. I really appreciate the card. And then there was a Kilo November 4, I think Quebec Papa something. Could you come again? I don't think I quite got your call. Okay, very good. Kilo November 4, Quebec Papa Alpha in Northern Virginia. I do got you in there. You're about probably an S3, S4. It's a little weak, but I can hear you. So good evening to you. Name here is Bert, that Whiskey Fox 7 India, and I go by WF7I Homebrew on YouTube. And I'm live streaming it right now on there. I hope that's working out. I have no idea if that's working out or not, but if it is, I'm waving to people right now. If not, I'm waving to myself. But we'll go ahead and hand it over to you there and get your name and signal report and everything. So KN4QPA WF7I.
Yeah, Roger, you are 5-9-10 over, and coming in really good. I'm just offering QRZ here. Very cool that you're running YouTube, I'd like to say that.
Okay, very good. I copied you're running an NFED, and thank you for the S9 plus 10. What was the name there again? Okay, did you say your name was Joe? Okay, having a little bit of trouble copying you. It sounded like you said Juliet Alpha Echo. Could you repeat that again, please? Okay, so I think you just said Joe. Let me see if I can look you up on QRZ as well here while we're talking. Let's see, K. You're doing pretty good for low power for sure, but sometimes there's just some static crashes and there's a little bit of adjacent interference coming in here. Okay, yeah, I got you, Joe in there from Leesburg. Well, very good, Joe. Thank you for joining the net here this evening. And I guess if we could just get a real quick kind of bio from you, if you're able to kind of maybe give us a little background, what brought you to the official SWL channel and what was your interest? Go ahead.
I've been operating QRZ for quite a while now, and just set up here. It's nice to get a hold of it, and things like this,
Okay, well, I heard you trying out 80 meters there. Your signal's kind of fading in and out a little bit, so unfortunately I probably have to let you go for now. I'll see maybe a John can copy you there. John, excuse me, K9BRS from WF7I, how are you doing this evening?
WF7I, K9BRS. Why, I've got a noise floor, Bert. I can barely pull you out, and you're not here, Joe, at all. I hope you're copying me, but because of where I am, I think I'm just going to sit back and listen and pull out what I can. I don't know why, for some reason, 80 meters is, maybe my neighbor's running something, but I've got an S9 noise floor, and you're about an S9, so it's tough. Good luck running with that. Like I say, I'll sit here and listen, and if things clear up a little bit, I'll jump back in, but for now, I'm just going to be an SWL guy. WS7I, K9BRS, back to you.
Okay, John, K9BRS WF7I. Well, I'm sorry to hear that about the noise. Your signal's coming in really good. And if this YouTube live stream works and it saves it to the channel, you can go back and look at the video and you can hear your signal here. I mean, you're an S9 plus 5. My noise level here is probably an S5, S6. I'm in a more rural area. There is some noise, I think, from some, we have Christmas lights out and about around here and stuff. But it's pretty quiet where I am. That's always a nice thing living here. But yeah, you're coming in really good. So that's too bad about the noise level that you have there. There is some discussion, a couple comments I noticed on the Facebook group where people were kind of interested in maybe trying 40 meters. And I mentioned that tonight. I don't know if you caught that in the live chat, tonight's live stream with Jill. But we're thinking maybe, you know, we might just do like a earlier evening on 40 meters, maybe around 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday next week, and try 40 meters because a lot of folks have better antennas for that band, and it reaches into Europe, and it could be we could even have some European people hear us or join us. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that might work a little better for you? Is that a time you can do? You think? Go ahead.
My time is open. Whatever time, you know, I can work around it. My only problem is remembering it over to you.
Yeah, so Jill tonight on the live channel, Jill was suggesting maybe we do kind of 0100, or I'm sorry, let's see, what times are these? 2100 UTC. So that would be about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or about 2100 UTC next Saturday, and then pick a frequency on 40 meters. Do you think that might work for you? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that should work. I don't see any reason why not. I am generally a little better on 40 than I am on 80. This noise thing comes and goes, but it's here fairly often on 80.
Yeah, I understand. I used to live in a pretty dense city urban area and had really terrible noise sometimes on 80, and that's pretty hard to avoid. And so I think there's just a tough sell for a lot of folks. I like the idea of coming after his live stream, but I think maybe we'll just have to kind of go concurrent with his live show in order to kind of capture more people and to get on 40 again. So I think that's the plan. We'll see if we can pick up a few more check-ins next week on 40, and maybe by then as well, maybe Jill will be able to join us. You never know. Well, I'll give it back to you, John. I guess if you wanted to sign off, I don't know how I turned on the processor. I don't know if that helped at all. But I'll give it back to you if you wanted to sign, or if you're able to hear me well enough. You know, you can certainly stay on, and then I'll probably make another call here to see if there's any other check-ins. Go ahead.
All right, Bert. Yeah, I'm going to sign and sit back and listen. If things clear up, I might be able to jump back in, but for now, I'm more than half dead. K9BRS, I'm turning it back to WF79. All yours, Bert.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for checking in again and for helping to try to make this net move forward. I think we'll eventually get a little group here. We may, like I say, we may have to go to 40, but I think we'll eventually get something going. Alrighty, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and make another call, see if there's any other hams out there that would like to join in the official shortwave listeners channel net, official SWL channel net. Anyone, anywhere is welcome to join. This is Whiskey Fox 7 India in Virginia. Okay, I'm not hearing anything. I'm going to give another couple more calls here. I'm not sure if I'm always able to hear people or give them another chance. So calling CQ for the official SWL channel net. Here is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India in the state of Virginia. Whiskey Fox 7 India calling for the official SWL channel net. The official SWL channel net calling CQ for anyone anywhere that would like to check into our little net. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India in Virginia calling and standing by. Kilo Oscar 4 Delta Bravo Oscar, I believe it was. This is Whiskey Fox 7 India. Thank you for checking in. The name here is Bert. I'm located in kind of western central Virginia here, rural Virginia near Natural Bridge. The name here is Bert, and you're about a 5 and 9, I believe. I'll check the meter again. So back to you, KO4 DBO from WF7I.
Good evening there, Bert. Here's the Jim shooting in you, Mike. I'm located in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where Tornado Alley
Oh, very good, Jim. Well, no problem at all. Appreciate you calling here. So just to give you a little background, just real briefly, this is kind of the starting of a net. We've only met one time before, and we're still kind of experimenting with frequencies and times. But it's a shortwave listeners net that's kind of based around a YouTube channel that's run by Gilles Letourneau, who's a ham up in Quebec, Canada. Victor Alpha 2 Zulu India, and we are meeting kind of roughly weekly. We're going to try to do that. I think we may QSY up to 40 for next Saturday. I don't know. But anyway, I kind of offered to try to kickstart this net. We've had a few check-ins here and there. I think 80 meters is a very tough band for a lot of the members. They don't have big stations. They're running low power and that kind of thing. So we're just kind of trying out some things here and kind of having fun with it. But if you're interested in checking out more about the YouTube group, just go to OfficialSWL Channel on YouTube and you can see all the videos there. There's a live stream every Wednesday and every Saturday, and we just talk about radio, talk about shortwave listening, ham radio, digital radio, satellite, just any number of things. It's just a fun group, not very serious, and we just kind of have a good time on there. So back over to you, Jim, KO4DBO from WF7I.
Yes, sir. WF7I. We'll try and join you some of this. Man, it's going to kind of correlate. I feel back to you again about the family, but I do hear you. We'll try some other time there with you. So, I appreciate you picking me up. Very still, 4DBO.
Okay, well, I'm glad you guys survived the storms there. It sounded really bad on the news, and they were threatening that we were going to get some pretty bad fallout here too. But thank goodness, a lot of times by the time these fronts get out here, they kind of diminish a little bit, and we didn't get too much impact. But I'm really sorry for all the damage, power outages, and loss of life that we heard about on the news. And hope that you and your family are okay out there. And wish you 73s, and thank you so much for contacting us and checking in this evening. KO4DBO WF7I. Okay, so I'll give one more call here for anyone that might be wanting to check in to the official SWL channel net. So this is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India WF7I. For the official SWL channel net, calling CQ for anyone wishing to check into the official SWL channel net. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India WF7I, located in the state of Virginia. Calling again for anyone wishing to check in to the official SWL channel net. Please come now. Anyone is welcome. Whiskey Fox 7 India.
Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo.
Okay, very good. I got a couple of check-ins there. There's Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo and Kilo 0 Delta Victor Hotel, I believe. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to you first. Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo, good evening. Thank you for checking in tonight. This is Whiskey Fox 7 India, Virginia. Go ahead.
Whiskey Fox 7 India, Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo. I appreciate you coming back. I've been working on an antenna, and I just finished making the repair, and I wanted to see if it was working. So I tried loading up my 40-meter Delta loop, and it looks like it's working all right.
Yeah, very good. Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo, WF7I. We're about a 5.7 to 5.9 here into Virginia, so it's sounding really good. I've got the processor on here, and I'm running about 100 watts from a Kenwood TS2000 into a 160-meter loop antenna, about 30 feet high. It's a horizontal loop with a tuner, and that's what we're running here. And you're coming in pretty good here, no problem at all. So the name here is Bert, and what this is we call it the official SWL channel. It's a YouTube group and a Facebook group that we meet to discuss radio, anything to do with radio, shortwave radio listening, ham radio, satellites, digital modes. It's just a kind of a general interest radio group, and this is kind of the ham radio net that we're trying to establish to go along with that YouTube channel. and you can find that channel. It's Official SWL Channel on YouTube, and that's where we kind of congregate. And this is only the second time we've tried to do this, and I think a lot of our members are having a hard time with 80 meters. Some of them are new to radio. They don't necessarily have big antennas, or they have a hard time with 80 meters with noise. So we're probably going to change frequencies next week. So we're kind of experimenting right now. So that's kind of the nature of it here. I looked you up on QRZ. It looks like your name is Jeff. Is that right? W3AAB, WF7I.
Jeff is the proper name, and your call sign is WF7I. Do I have that correct?
That is correct. It's Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India.
All right, Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India. Okay, I just want to make sure I got it right. All right, well, it sounds like a cool net. Shortwave listening. I've been into that since I was a little kid. So, that's in fact my first shortwave receiver was a Lafayette regen unit. You touch the outside of that thing and it would change frequency.
Yeah, that's great. My father actually had a kit regenerative receiver that he built, and we still have that radio, a little tube radio. And you sort of tune the regeneration. You hear it's kind of a squealy noise, and I think you have to back the regeneration off just a little bit beyond, before it starts to oscillate, and then that's the kind of the sweet spot, if I remember right.
Yeah, and I remember I was about, I'm 61 years old. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. I had this thing, and I had an antenna wire that stretched out of my room, way up into my front yard. I used to sit there and listen to all kinds of stuff. That was a cool. It was like my introduction to shortwave listening. I bought this thing at somebody's yard sale. I think it was like 1969 or 1970. Someone had a yard sale. I paid 25 cents for it, and I could pick up maybe a couple dozen stations with it. And it finally just gave up the ghost after a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us got started with shortwave listening. We all have stories about some of the, the first radios we tried. I know last week we were talking about the Zenith Transoceanic series, and I know that radio was around for many years, in the 60s and 70s. That's actually one of the first shortwave radios I had, and then eventually I got a DX100 realistic ham Radio Shack, can't talk, Radio Shack receiver, which, I was born in 72, and so this was early 80s, and for me that was a big deal. That was an amazing radio. Of course, it was not a really good quality radio by any means. Even, by those standards of that day, it was not a great radio, but for me it opened up a world, and it was just like, and that and the Transoceanic, which I didn't actually own, it was my uncle's, but I just remember it really fondly, opening that radio up. It had like a world map you pulled out, and it just felt like you were sort of traveling the earth, and it was like an adventure, you didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah, copy that. Well, I'll tell you, shortwave radio listening was such an adventure. I'd sit in my room, it'd be like 10, 11 o'clock at night, I was supposed to be asleep. And I'd have that radio and earphones with the covers pulled up over my head, and I'd be listening to just like Radio Netherlands, Radio South Africa, and they had their own music that they played. It would repeat over and over again. A lot of these places, or you hear the number stations. All that kind of stuff fascinated me. Yeah,
well, feel free to give it a shot as far as checking out the YouTube channel, and the owner of that channel also has a Facebook group, and we kind of talk about these things, and we chat amongst each other, and there's a lot of really cool stories, especially on the Facebook group. There's a lot of people sharing old QSL cards, photos of themselves when they were younger doing radio, and reminiscing about all kinds of different aspects of the hobby over the decades. It's quite fascinating. It actually sort of keeps me into the hobby. It's mostly a shortwave listener focused group, but because I think most of us, or all of us that are hams, also sort of maybe started as shortwave listeners, or maybe we maintain both of those interests, it really appeals to a lot of hams too, and it's just kind of interesting and fun to sort of to go over that. Well, thank you, Jeff, for checking in. I don't want to go too long before handing it over to the other check-in that was there. So let me go ahead and touch base with him real quick if he's still out there. K0DVH, I think it was Delta Victor Hotel. Are you still there? This is Whiskey Fox 7 India. Well, great, Steve. Thank you so much for checking in this evening. K0DVH from Whiskey Fox 7 India. Yeah, you have a good signal. You're about an S7 here. I have a pretty low noise level here. I'm really sort of fortunate that way. I live in kind of a rural area of Virginia, and I have a 160 meter loop up that I just tuned for 80, and it works pretty well. It's about 30 feet up. It's not, you know, it's not a DX crushing monster necessarily, but it does the job. I'm pretty happy with it, and you know, yeah, if I could get up to 50 or 70 feet, I'm sure it'd do a lot better. But you know, I'm pretty happy with the performance here, and I'm just running 100 watts, and it's a Kenwood TS 2000 is what I'm running here. And we've had a few check-ins this evening. I'll just kind of explain briefly again. This is the kind of the first, or I guess this is the second attempt we've had at a net. For the official SWL channel. That's a group on YouTube and also has a Facebook group that really just talks about shortwave and kind of shares the interests we all have, or you know, most of us have probably with shortwave. And we're just kind of starting out this net and just experimenting with different frequencies and things, and sharing stories and whatnot. We're probably going to go to 40 meters next week. I think, as I've said before, a lot of the members are struggling with 80 meters, and looks like right now there's a lot of folks with Christmas lights and things on that are making a lot of noise down on 80 meters, so that's probably making it a little worse. But yeah, you're coming in here pretty solid, Steve, here into kind of western central Virginia, as it were, kind of a rural area. And how was the weather down there? Did you guys get hit by the big wave of storms that everyone was seeing marching across the country there? K0DVH, WF7I. Okay, very good, Steve. K0 Delta Victor Hotel from Whiskey Foxtrot 7 India. Well, I'm glad things weren't too bad down that way. We were expecting a lot of wind here, and actually I went out and adjusted the guy wires on my antennas, and I wanted to make sure nothing was going to blow down. So, but we didn't get much wind, and it's thank goodness. We didn't really get any impact from that storm. You never know. I feel like a lot of times we get really bad wind events. They don't necessarily make the news at all, but then I have stuff blowing down, so you just never know. Well, I appreciate Steve for checking in. And I guess I'll go ahead and make another call and see if there's anyone else out in the wings there, maybe that was finally able to join us for the net this evening. And then I'll if I don't hear anything, I'll just hand it back over to Jeff, and we can sort of maybe do another go round here. So QRZ for the official SWL channel net. Is there anyone out there who'd like to check in? The official SWL channel net. Calling CQ for the official SWL channel net. This is Whiskey Foxtrot 7, India in Virginia. Okay, I'm not hearing anything here. So Jeff, let me just turn it back over to you, and we'll let you take it. Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo from WF7I.
WF7I, Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo. Well, what's my business there, bud? I'm wondering, Steven, K0DBH, can you copy my signal? Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo. K0DBH, Kilo 0, David Victor Hotel, Whiskey 3 Alpha Alpha Bravo. Well, Bert, I guess you can't hear me. I was kind of figuring this antenna was a cloud warmer, because it's really cut for 40 meters. And working it with the antenna tuner, probably just getting out. And Lexington's a beautiful, beautiful area. I spent a lot of time fishing on the Maury River as a young man.
Yeah, QSL. It is a very beautiful area. I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to be on the Chessie Trail. It used to be a railroad for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad, and that has turned into a really nice hiking and sort of, well, walking trail, bike trail. And hoping to go out there tomorrow. The weather looks like it's going to be really nice, and they just actually built a bridge over the Maury River that had been down for about 20 years, and they rebuilt it. And so it's a nice little kind of 13-mile stretch there, really beautiful scenery.
Yeah, I tell you, one thing I remember about the Maury River, whenever I would go, we go fishing for smallmouth bass on the Maury River, and the one thing that I remember is I never had to bring bait or anything with me. I'd bring a fly rod, I'd bring some snell hooks, and I would catch helmets in the river. It seemed like every pocket of water on that river held a smallmouth bass.
Yeah, I mean, I do see a lot of people fishing there. I've never gone fishing there, but I always see it's pretty popular, especially kind of towards Buena Vista area, and that I always see a lot of people fishing out there.
Yeah, I've never fished the river quite that far up, but I fished it just north of Lexington, maybe about 5 or 6 miles north of Lexington.
Oh, very good. Well, what years were you living in Lexington?
No, I wasn't living in Lexington. I was living outside of Washington, D.C., and I would drive 3 hours to go down there to fish.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that's quite a little field trip there. Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate, I think, to live in this area. It's real beautiful. I like to do a lot of bike riding, so I do a lot of riding up in the Shenandoah Valley, up towards Stanton, Harrisonburg area, and that. I like to go up in there. It's a really nice area over here, and I feel like the weather's not quite as, violent or whatever. It seems like the mountains kind of break it up a little bit. It's a little more mild here than maybe towards the coast or out further west there.
Yeah, that's quite possible. The area I live in is it's right before you get to the mountains. I don't know if you're familiar with west of Washington, D.C., but I live about 30 miles west of Washington, D.C., near Frederick, and it's right before you get into the mountains. But the weather is probably very similar to what you experienced.
Well, very good. Well, I mean, I appreciate you checking in this evening and joining us here. I know it's we didn't really have we had one of our members from the actual YouTube channel join us tonight. Unfortunately, I guess a lot of the others can't hear me, or they just don't have not able to really kind of get on 80 meters tonight. I know 80 is a kind of a challenge for especially some of the newer hams. Like I said, we're probably going to switch things up, try 40 next time, but it's been fun. I appreciate you kind of jumping in there and chatting with us this evening. I'm going to go ahead and go back over to Steve K0DVH, let him take it away, and we'll go from there. K0DVH WF7I. K0DVH, are you still out there, Steve? This is Whiskey Fox 7 India. Okay, I think we might have lost Steve there, Jeff, and John, if you're still listening. I think I'm going to go ahead and shut down the net for this evening. And feel free if, I don't know, John, if you wanted to try to speak there with Jeff or whatnot. I don't know if you can, I know you have a really high noise level and you were kind of standing by on the side. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here. I appreciate everyone who kind of jumped in. KO4DBO, and JetW3AAB, K0DVH, and K9BRS, and KJ4WMO, if you're still listening. Thank you all for joining in, and really appreciate it. And I think we'll keep doing this, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more participation on the next week's net on 40 meters. So with that, Jeff, I'll hand it back to you for your final, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and go QRT myself, W3AAB from WF7I.
WF7I, W3AAB. Hey, Bert, if you are able to, if you can, please, in QRZ, just confirm that my contact, I could use 80 meters for Virginia, so for work on station, that would be pretty cool if you're able to do that. Anyway, good luck with your net. If I hear you on again and up on 40, or even here on 80, I'll log in again, and I'm going to check out your internet site. Anyway, 73 to you and whoever else might be listening, WF7I, Whiskey 3, Alpha Bravo, 73.
Okay, 73 there, Jeff. Yeah, and just anyone who's listening again, the YouTube group is the official SWL channel. Just feel free to kind of check out some of those videos there. And there's also a Facebook group. It's the official SWL channel group on Facebook. That one you do have to kind of apply and answer a couple of questions. It's really easy to get to join it, not a big deal. And again, just kind of a fun group. We just kind of chat about radio and electronics a little bit, shortwave listening. And it's just a real easygoing group, not super technical or anything, mostly just kind of reminiscing about radio and shortwave stations. So 7-3, have a great evening, Jeff, and everyone who joined this evening. This is Whiskey Fox 7 India in Virginia, and Jeff, I will go ahead and put the QSO in your QRZ page, that's not a problem. And 7-3, and hope to see some of you again next week. Take care.
WF7I, K9BRS.
Yes, John, go ahead.
You did come up a little as the evening went on. I just wanted to say great job running the net. I think you've earned yourself a permanent position. WF7I, 73, K9BRS.
Okay, very good, John. Well, I appreciate it. When I first started out as a ham, I was a member of Mars, Army Mars, and I was on a lot of nets there. And I think I just sort of got used to doing nets from a young age. That was when I first got licensed back when I was 13 years old. I pretty much joined Mars right away, and I did a lot of nets with them. I guess it just sort of gets baked into you as far as doing that kind of thing. But I'm more than happy for somebody else to take over as net control, especially if they have an amplifier. But it seems to me I'm getting out pretty well. I'm getting really good signal reports from everybody. So I don't know that I need higher power. I'm sure it'd help a little bit, especially for people in higher noise areas and stuff. But I mean, it seems like it's doing pretty well. So, well, thanks, John, and 73's to you. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off and see if, make sure that this live stream video that I'm shooting on YouTube actually works. And hopefully we can all watch the replay. That should be kind of entertaining there. So K9BRS and everyone else who checked in earlier tonight, 7-3 from WF7I. Alrighty, so that's all, folks. Hope that this works out. Hope you guys can see the video there, and we'll see how it goes through. I apologize for the lighting. I apologize for this not being super professional. It's just on my phone, but it was kind of a last minute decision to kind of shoot this video. So anyway, it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And we'll go ahead and end it here, I guess. 7 threes, everyone.